Anyone who follows game media or entertainment media as a whole would know that Kotaku is probably one of the biggest cesspools on the internet of places masquerading as a journalistic site. A lot of the people writing for it are basically just activists using the label of journalism as a springboard in order to try to further their own agenda. And they've been caught in the past many times just outright lying and fabricating stories about people in order to try to push their agenda. And a recent example of this is this story that they wrote about MrBeast, where they were quoting him as saying, life is easier when you're broke. Now you'll notice this story right here says it was updated because MrBeast called them out and it became pretty obvious that they were just outright lying about him. So they had to kind of backpedal on this. If you look at this post that MrBeast actually shared out himself, you can see a screen grab where it says shared by Kotaku, MrBeast, life is so much easier when you're broke. And he shared this to call them out. A news site lied and said I said life is so much easier when you're broke, which I didn't say. Now I'm waking up to millions of people believing the lie and hating me. Being famous is so much fun. And then below that, he has this video where you can actually hear what he said in the context. And you can tell that Kotaku didn't just mishear them. They were deliberately trying to actually frame it in his worst light as possible in order to try to smear him. Here, let's just take a listen to what he says.
It's really killing me, to be honest. It was like so much easier when you're, bro, if you don't travel constantly.
Okay, yeah, I'll just go back again in case you didn't.
So much easier when you're, bro, if you don't travel constantly.
Okay, he says.
It's like so much easier when you're, bro, if you don't travel.
He says, life is so much easier when you're, bro, if you don't travel. He kind of had like that pause in a sentence. He used bro as a word whisker, where he wasn't necessarily saying broke. They were trying to make it seem like, oh, he said life is so much easier when you're broke, but he says life is so much easier when you're bro. If you don't have to travel all the time, and then kind of got into a spiel here. You can hear the rest of it too, in case you're wondering what he was trying to say here.
It was like so much easier when you're, bro, if you don't travel constantly. Life is so easy when you just wake up in your own bed and like waking up in your own bed and working 15 hours in, you know, your office, whatever. So easy compared to.
So if you heard that.
Yeah. So he was basically saying it's easy if you don't have to travel, when you can just go to your regular job and just do your thing. And that's it. And, you know, I would agree with him because I've worked jobs where I've had to travel around and do stuff. And even though that is fun to do that sort of thing every once in a while, it is still very much exhausting. And after some time at that, I'm like, okay, I would rather just get back to my office and just kind of do editing behind the scenes and just take it easier for a while. Then obviously after some time of doing that, I'm like, okay, I'm bored again and I want to go back and doing something a little bit more exciting, but kind of not so frequently, because you need to have that variety and things. But I can understand with what he was saying right there. But Kotaku deliberately tried to frame it in a negative way in order to try to smear him. Now, I don't ordinarily try to defend him. In fact, I've made a number of videos on this channel critical over some of the stuff MrBeast has said and done in the past. Even recently with his show Beast Games for Amazon, what people were reporting on the conditions for the cast and crew working on it, how bad it was. And I've talked about that. And there was a lot of stuff to criticize him over, but trying to just outright say he said something that he never said, I mean, that's not a good way to go about doing this. And he rightfully called them out on this. And you can see Kotaku updated their initial article to try to remove any negativity surrounding it. Not only that, just take a note of this screen grab of this post, because the reason why they have this screen grab right here with the date 2/20/25 is because that initial post is no longer there. So you can see going on the Kotaku X account. All right, here's February 19th from their post. Okay, February 20th here. Let's see if they have that post here. Nope. It's not there. Still February 20th. All the posts that they have from that day. Nope. Yep. February 20th, 21st. So you can see they obviously deleted that, which I'm of two minds of deleting things like that. Because on the one hand, okay, you were wrong. If you made a mistake and you're like, oh, we didn't realize it, we'll delete that post. But at the same time, I kind of feel like you're trying to almost cover up what you did. But at the same time, it's good that there are screen grabs like this available, so they really can't hide from it too much. But also, one thing I noticed, they deleted that initial post where it's just MrBeast in that quote from him. But look at this other post. This came out February 2022. So this other post where they're just kind of summarizing some of their big stories in the previous week. Marvel Rivals hit with layoffs. MrBeast says life is easier when you're broke, and more of the week's top news. So they thought it was necessary to delete the initial post. They thought it was necessary to update this, but apparently they didn't think it was necessary to remove this post because this wasn't one people were talking about, or at least that wasn't the one that got a lot of attention. You can see some of the comments in here. They lied twice about MrBeast and didn't said even sorry. The website, what a scumbag news outlet. MrBeast never said that, and you still act like he did. So people are picking this up, but Kotaku, you can tell that they're not actually remorseful or sorry. If anything, they're just upset that they got caught and they got called out on this. But they still kept this alive because people weren't talking about this. Maybe if MrBeast reposted this one and just kind of like shined a light on, hey, you're still lying about him. And I think that's kind of the purpose, because it's pretty obvious they didn't just mishear what he said. They can watch the video, they can watch it over and over again if they want and get a good idea of what he said. But that's the whole point of a lot of media outlets like Kotaku, is they're just going to try to lie about people and smear them because they know they can just put out falsehoods out there. Pretty much what he said here, where he just wakes up to millions of people thinking he actually said these sort of things. And what's the saying goes, a lie is halfway around the world before the truth can put its shoes on. That's basically what they do. They set out to try to smear him with this sort of line. So they get out the lie, and then by the time the truth finally comes out, there's a lot of people who aren't necessarily going to hear the retraction, aren't necessarily going to hear what happened afterwards. They're just going to see this initial post saying that he said life is easier when you're broke, and a lot of people are going to think that that's really what happened. And then when it finally comes out that that's not what happened, there's many people out there who are not going to believe that for a variety of reasons. And that's why Kotaku not only made that initial post, but why they still keep this one alive, because they don't want to retract the truth. They want the lie to be out there. And that's why they're such a garbage outlet on a garbage platform. And thankfully, they're pretty much going down the toilet. And if you ask me, it can't happen soon enough. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there, because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.